I'm Bruce Marshall, and this is the Marshall Minute Brampton Now update for the week ending the July 18th, 19th weekend, 2020. This is a succinct, once-a-week hotshot of everything important that has happened in Brampton the previous week and what's coming up. Brampton's only professionally produced and only independent broadcast. Brampton, unbought and unbiased. Coming up, Ontario goes into stage 3. Brampton stays at 2. Why that happened and where that's going. And we're about to see much more speed camera enforcement in Brampton. Plus, my Marshall Rant. Signs. Why? Why are we so obsessed with signs? Details on that and more coming up in this Brampton Now update. The top stories this week in Brampton. Most of Ontario has opened up to stage 3. Mayor Patrick Brown from the Wednesday press conference on why he's glad to be cautiously remaining at stage 2.
Many of the GTHA mayors felt strongly that we couldn't rush into stage 2, and I feel the same with stage 3.
Brown shared concerns that had been expressed by the GTHA mayors about bars and clubs opening up.
And I had a very productive call with GTHA mayors on Monday, and I think there's some commonality of concern around clubs and bars as they reopen.
Mayor Brown expressed concern about the fact that other levels of government have not yet ponied up to help municipalities.
And I will repeat my concern that municipal essential workers are not being looked after. We have essential workers, transit operators, first responders that are on the front lines of this battle against COVID-19. And it seems every week there's a new funding announcement from the provincial and federal governments. And it's frustrating that we still haven't seen any support for Canadian cities.
Brown went on to give a rundown of some of the costs so far.
Just from appeal standpoint, we have regional costs. I look at the Peel paramedics. You know, we've got $3.8 million in unexpected costs due to COVID, and transit locally, $22 million so far this year, and the forecast is $44 million. Our municipal budget, not including the regional budget, the municipal budget, you know, we're seeing a discrepancy that ranges from 5.9% to 7.3% for COVID-related expenses.
Testing remains a big part of the puzzle. In announcing a pop-up test center at the Brampton Curling Club on July 22nd, that's Wednesday this coming week, 10 a.m. to 6 a.m., Mayor Brown reiterated the importance of testing.
And we also have testing every single day at South Fletcher's. It's drive-in testing, it's walk-up testing, you can bicycle up. Testing is really easy in Brampton, so if you haven't been tested, please get tested so we can know where the remnants of the virus are in our community.
In a moment, Mayor Brown with a message for those who think it's backyard party time already. And Peel paramedics have wound down their high-risk response teams. Ahead on the Brampton Now update.
This is a pivotal moment in our fight against COVID-19. What we do next will determine how quickly and how well we recover. Our economy is recovering, and as we resume activities, we must remember the core 4 activities that will be important steps on our road to recovery. We're asking you to commit to these 4 things. Stay apart. Maintain a safe 2-meter physical distance from people that are not within your social circle. Mask up. Wear a non-medical mask where physical distancing is difficult. Lather up. Wash your hands regularly with soap and water or hand sanitizer. Get tested. Get tested if you have symptoms consistent with COVID-19 or are worried that you may have been exposed to someone who does. These 4 core steps are the fastest path to overcoming COVID-19. They will protect you, protect others, and bring back our thriving communities. Show your commitment to the core 4 by sharing the symbol on social media, posting in your workplace, or in your front window at home.
This is the Brampton Now update. I'm Bruce Marshall. Mayor Patrick Brown had a message at the Wednesday news conference for those who think it's backyard party time.
give your head a shake. This is still not the time to have parties. I know the weather is good, but we need to stick together. We need to understand, we need to follow the advice of public health, and we can't have anyone ignoring the advice of public health and putting everyone else in peril.
Brown was speaking about the fact that bylaw officers continue to issue those big tickets. Again, Mayor Brown, is it time for backyard parties yet?
Give your head a shake, give your head a shake, give your head a shake.
Okay, got that. Loud and clear. As we move towards stage 3 and joining the rest of Ontario, Peel's Medical Officer of Health, Dr. Lawrence Loh, had this reminder on how we need to get there.
As our community reopens, remember that COVID-19 spreads from person to person. Without a vaccine or a cure, our best defense is in our interactions. It's about how we interact and how well we can stick to the core 4 behaviors of 2 meters of physical distance, hand washing, and following the requirement of wearing a non-medical mask in indoor spaces or on transit, and in other places where we cannot distance. And more importantly, staying at home and getting tested if you are sick or have been exposed to someone with COVID-19.
Regional Councillor Rowena Santos is co-chair of the Social Support Task Force, and she recapped some of the things that they've accomplished for vulnerable people in Brampton.
Thousands upon thousands of families and individuals have been provided support through food delivery hampers, through non-food essential deliveries, as well as various other aspects of support.
The SIU announced last week charges for one of the Peel Regional Police officers involved in one of the 5 shootings of citizens since the new year. The shooting in this case was on Mother's Day, May 10th, in which former Peel Police Constable Valerie 𝗕𝗺𝗺 is alleged to have discharged a firearm. 𝗕𝗺𝗺, who has left Peel Police, has been charged with criminal negligence causing bodily harm, assault with a weapon, and careless use of a firearm. More good news on the coronavirus front. The Peel Paramedic Union announced this week that the Peel Paramedic Service is standing down the high-risk response teams. The teams had been set up to execute high-risk calls with known or suspected coronavirus patients, where paramedics donned a complete suit that protected them from the virus. City Council last week passed a bylaw to introduce automated speed enforcement through 200 locations across Brampton to reduce speeding and traffic-related incidents and to enhance general road safety. There are 5 automated cameras coming in. They'll be integrated as part of a network of devices. The city's also setting up a further 25 community safety zones, which allows the city to put special measures in place to calm traffic. Coming up, we hear from the Executive Director of Knight's Table, one of our food programs in Brampton, about how all the food programs have joined forces and how you can help. Ahead on Brampton Now Update.
It's like intention, that's the word. The running intention for a lot of these songs was bringing it back to the place of, like the lyrics and the meaning of everything and having it feel the way it feels to sing it for me and for a lot of people when they listen to it. And I think we sort of hear them in a different way that they haven't heard them before. The strings on it just feel so perfect with those chords. It just and you strip it down again, it just, you can hear what I'm saying, and I think it's a lot more emotional and it takes just a different approach to it. It brings you back to the essence. It
is amazing that when you produce something differently and you play with different instruments, the song really takes on a different meaning.
We have a live EP. Yeah!
One more.
I'm Bruce Marshall, and this is the Brampton Now Update. Annie Bino from Knight's Table, one of Brampton's food programs, spoke at the city's weekly news conference about a program that brings all of Brampton's food programs together in one place for the vulnerable.
Regeneration, United Sikhs, and Knight's Table have joined forces to raise much needed funds to support vulnerable individuals and families, the elderly, the homeless, and more importantly, to raise awareness on the issues of hunger, poverty, and homelessness in our community.
Bike Brampton was out on the recreation trails last Saturday with a pop-up bike hub. Bike Brampton sponsors neighborhood bike hubs weekly through much of the year, and the bike hubs include several certified bike mechanics who can provide some minor adjustments for you and recommend solutions for larger problems. Well, those bike hubs are taking to the trails this summer, and this is one I popped into on Saturday on the Etobicoke Creek Trail at Vaudin near the fire station. In a moment, a quick rundown of some Brampton events for the weekend and the coming week, and yet to come, my Marshall Rant on our obsession with signs. You're watching Brampton Now Update. I'm Bruce Marshall. This weekend and ahead in Brampton, there's a hot tub blowout expo at the CAA Center Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, meeting all the protocols. I don't know if you've noticed, but hot tubs, pools, I guess anything to do with staycationing is in huge demand. So that's this weekend at the CAA Center if you're looking for a hot tub. Brampton Farmers Market is Saturday. If you haven't been, please review the protocols for the market at brampton.ca. Wednesday, July 22nd, there's a pop-up coronavirus testing center at the Curling Club on McMurtry in downtown Brampton, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Wednesday. The daily drive-through tests at Fletcher's continue as put on by Osler Health System. Rotary Club of Brampton's virtual Rib and Roll is this coming week. The deadline to order is Wednesday, 9 p.m. for delivery Sunday between 6 and 9 p.m. And you want to have a look at the menu. Some of Peel's finest rib places are lending their tastes. Have a look and see if you're not smacking your lips yourself and, want to order. You can do all of that at ribandroll.com. That's ribandroll.com. Brampton Music Theatre has a fundraising contest called Catch the Ace. It's at bmtcatchtheace.ca. BMT also continues online training programs on their website at bramptonmusictheatre.com. CBC's Canada Reads resumes next week with Ali Hassan hosting. One of the books in contention is a story that takes place partly in Brampton. Jessie Thistle's story, From the Streets to the Halls of Academia, From the Ashes, is one of 4 books. From the Ashes has put down some serious roots in the top spots on the Canadian book charts this summer. Well, actually for months. Yes, the best-selling author in Canada at this moment is a guy who once lived on the streets here in Brampton. Coming up, a Marshall Rant. Why are we so obsessed with lawn signs? And the open question, could some counselors be using their office to exercise a grudge against a council colleague? Maybe. Possibly. That's next. I'm Bruce Marshall, and this is the Marshall Rant. Signs. For some reason, we're obsessed with signs in Brampton. I'm not talking about billboards or bus shelter ads. Nobody seems to have a problem with them, and nobody wants to censor their message. No, I'm talking about the kind of sign where you, the taxpayer, might want to share an idea or an endorsement of something. I'll give you an example and tell you how powerful these signs can be. I am reminded every time I leave my little area of Brampton, I see "Please slow down" signs. And I'm reminded that kids could be anywhere. Every time I'm reminded. Those signs have been there maybe a year now. I would guess that they were a couple of $3 each. With the number of times that I've been reminded by those signs, the cost of advertising is down probably below a penny per impression just for me as an individual advertising target. Yet there are those on City Council who are not fans of these signs. Oh no. Especially if someone they see as a council rival is the person who is having success with those signs. Oh. Hi, Charmaine Williams. Yeah, Charmaine Williams has been using signs that have at least opened discussion on a range of important issues. The discussions are of great benefit to our city, and the maniacal outrage on the part of some at a mere piece of plastic is just a waste of time. What do you want, signs all over the place like it's always an election on or something? No, that's not what I want. However, here's one idea. Those "Please slow down" signs. The research I've done seems to indicate that they're effective out of all measure to their cost, for the simple reason that they send the message of, this is what we expect here in our neighborhood. This is a message from the neighborhood. The articles I've read indicate that that's an incredibly effective piece of communication. They do slow traffic down, according to the studies that I've read. And when I see those "Please slow down" signs, I'm reminded that this is the standard my neighbors ask me to meet. Fair enough. Thanks for the reminder, my friends and neighbors. In the city of Toronto, you simply call up the city and they'll deliver a "Please slow down" sign to your house. I think they actually install it conforming to the city bylaws. Yep. The city of Toronto installs a "Please slow down" sign at your request. The same signs that some in Brampton have been losing their minds over for months. And now apparently we can't have signs that mention or criticize a politician. But I can do all those things if I have deep pockets. I can mention or criticize on a billboard, bus side, or bus shelter, but a sign on my lawn? Sorry, you're not allowed. Your rights got caught up in the council trying to teach a lesson to one of their council colleagues. All this clamping down to keep Charmaine from succeeding needs to be rolled back and needs to be reviewed through a strict lens of Canadian values of freedom of expression. In a democracy, I should be able to magic marker a slogan on a pizza box lid and post it on my lawn to share with my neighbors. Let me tell you, as someone who has worked in electronic media for 40 plus years, the sign is not dead. The sign is still a fundamental unit of communication for the individual citizen, and that needs not to be trampled by the bull in a china shop actions of some councillors using their offices to teach a lesson to one of their colleagues. I'm Bruce Marshall, and that's it for this week. Please subscribe to the Brampton Now Update channel on YouTube or follow #MarshallMinute on Facebook for lots of Brampton Need to Know that you won't find anywhere else. Your comments and suggestions always welcome, and if you've got a Brampton story to tell, get in touch with me through the channel you're watching on now. Stay strong, Brampton. Brampton strong. We're all in this together. I'm Bruce Marshall. Thanks for watching Brampton Now Update.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.